everyone and welcome to an updated fire alarm collection video. So the last video I did about my fire alarm collection was about 10 months ago now, which it's mad to think that, but it was a very, very long time ago actually. And I have received quite a few more devices since then, so I thought I would do a little video showing what I have acquired since then. So we'll start off with detection. Not much has changed really. I don't think has anything even changed. I'm not sure. But this is all domestic, these four, and then this is all my commercial detection. So this is a first alert heat detector. Obviously it's domestic, battery powered, pretty boring. This is a wired detector, but it's for a burglar alarm system, and I think it's made for houses, so it's an A to Z detector. See, it has a test button there. In America, for some ridiculous reason, they use these as actual smoke detectors, which is moronic in my opinion. I don't know why. They call them 4-wire, but there is literally no point, because with normal systems you can just whack the detectors on the same circuit as the call points, but with these, you need a separate power line, so you need a 12-volt line coming in, and then you have your like trigger circuit, which that's kind of stupid, but it works for burglar alarm systems because they're wired a lot differently. They need a 12-volt line for their PIRs and stuff because they need power. But anyway, this is a mains detector. Hasn't got its base on at the minute. This is a BRK. Does have the model on it because the sticker came off ages ago. But yeah, it's one of the mains powered ones. It's not the really old one with like the horn in it. It's just got a normal piezo in it. It does the sort of old beep sound. But yeah, it's from about 2004. This. And it's got a backup battery tray there, but you can't actually push that in without having a backup battery in it, so it's obviously out forever at the minute. And then this is possibly the most boring one. This is literally just a Kidder, had like a brand name on it. Yeah, that's the one, Lifesaver. I don't think that'll be saving lives anytime soon. It's probably about the shittiest little cheap detector we've ever gotten. The only reason I really have that is because we bought a carbon monoxide alarm with that, a Lifesaver carbon monoxide alarm, and that's the only one that we actually have in use in the house. And then with this, we just didn't have anything to do with it because we've got our house, we've already got better sensors in our house, so we don't need that. So I just acquired it basically. Anyway, on to commercial detection. This is a Nitan EVC-P optical detector with the sort of, you will have seen this, you will have heard me say that about 1,000 times by now if you watch my system tests, but yeah, that's got like the 360-degree ring, yeah, and it's got like, as the same similar looking on the back as the old Nitan detectors, same with the base actually, which is really cool. And then this is a Series 65, you've all seen these before, normal conventional detector. That's Alarm Sense, that's a 2-wire, basically a 2-wire version of the Series 65. It's got, what's it called? It's got 360-degree LEDs as well, but that's basically just got 2 LEDs on it. This one's a bit more, actually hold on, I should probably show you this first. This is another Series 65, this is my older one. Yeah, the only difference is, it's slightly more, oh, is that it? Yeah, it is. Last time I checked, the older one was slightly more yellow. I might have actually... Did I swap out the... Oh, that's weird. I've obviously got the newer top piece on it. Yeah, I don't know. I must have gotten confused when I was cleaning them, but it really doesn't matter. You can't tell the difference, really. Yeah. Showed you that. This is... If I can get the thing off. Should have taken this off before the video, really. This is an Apollo Orbis, so that's their newer range of conventional detection, and it's a multi-sensor. It's got an optical detector up there, and then it's got a heat detector there. It's only got one LED, but it doesn't really matter. Orbis, it says on the back. Yeah, it's got the Halma bass plug thingy for the time saver bases, I think they're called, I'm not sure. And then this is quite interesting. This is a Kse active detector. Again, this has got 2 LEDs. It's got a bit of a branding on there from ages ago, so I haven't taken that off. Ooh, nearly dropped it then, and nearly basically threw it. Yeah, don't even need to take the base off this one. But there you can see all the information about it. Next is, well, I think this is the last one now. This is my Menvia MAP 720 addressable detector. And I will take the base off this one. Yeah, because the address setting is really interesting in this. So you have these little circuit boards, and you can see the trace in there. It literally just connects 2 together, and then all the rest of them are redundant, and that's how you set your address. So I reckon if you really wanted to, you could make your own little circuit board with dip switches on there, and you could set the address with dip switches if you were quite skilled with board design. You'd have to make it really small though, I don't know how you'd fit it there, but you could have it come over a bit, I suppose. But yeah, it's a really interesting address setting thing there. I'd love an addressable Menvia system at some point, but we'll have to see about that, won't we? Still with conventional at the minute, and Menvia definitely isn't my go-to addressable system that I would use. So yeah, that's detection. Now let's move to sounders. So it's about the same as detectors. I haven't got loads of these. I've got, well, more than enough, but we're going to keep collecting these. So we'll start with platform sounders and bass sounders. So if you don't know the difference between those, these two are platform sounders because they don't have any bass built in. This is a bass sounder because it has a bass actually integrated into it. So this is a bass sounder beacon, addressable Apollo for XP95. It's possibly going to be used at some point. Don't get excited, definitely not in the near future. Definitely needs a conventional panel first, but yeah, once I go addressable, it's definitely probably going to be Apollo. That made a lot of sense, didn't it? Definitely, possibly. Anyway, yes, this is the fully on squash knee platform sounder. This is really, really basic. 2 tones. It's got sweep and continuous. There's another version of this with dip switches with 32 tones, but this one I paid a $5 for, so obviously wasn't expecting to get the 32 tone version. And this one's definitely much more interesting. This is a Klaxon Sonar bass sounder. And it's 32 tone. It's got the same tones, well, similar. It sounds a bit different, but it's got the same tones as this, which is the Klaxon Sonos wall sounder. So these go together, they actually synchronize as well. So if you have this one and this one connected on the same sounder circuit, they will synchronize, which is really nice. Next is this. This is the Vimpex Banshee XL. This is another really cool sounder. I like this sounder. This one is actually quite low quality. The volume adjustment potentiometer has a lot of problems with it on all models. I've spoken to other people who have had the same problem before me, actually, and mine's only just gone dodgy now, which is quite annoying. But this one doesn't suffer that problem. I'll take the bass off for you, 1 second. This one doesn't even have a potentiometer because this one only has 2 volume settings. It's either quiet or loud. Actually, I don't know. I think it's more adjustable than that. I think you have the 2 at the end for volume. So there's a slightly more adjustability with that. And then obviously the rest of the dip switches are for your tone. Banshee XL. Yeah, nice sounding sound of this. It's got some nice tones on it. Then we have a very basic sounder next. This is literally just a Roshni. Seen about a million of these before, but this is the newer Roshni. This is the low profile, which is the low profile has quickly become the more common one. I have another Roshni here. This is the older one. This isn't low profile. I don't know what low profile even means. It basically means it's thin. So you can see the newer one is quite a bit thinner than the older one. That's the only difference, and the tones differ ever so slightly. They have, I think, it has a couple of slightly changed ones on this, but pretty much the same sounder. This one's obviously older and dirtier, as you can clearly see. This was outside for a few months, a while ago. It was removed when I found out that the decking over there was going to be redone. It actually used to be over there, but the decking got done very recently, so... I never even made a video of that, actually, but yes, this was outside and connected to the shed system over there. And, yeah. I also have another fully on device. Oh, that was so sad. Hold on. As I was saying, I have another fully on device. It's actually the, what's it called now? The Intelligent Beacon. It's basically just a Solex. So it's this, but no sound, and it flashes, and it's clear. And, well, it's red, but red and clear at the same time. I'm not making much sense today, but who cares? Next, actually, I should probably do this one, because it's right at the top there, and you've all seen it. This is my Gent 32202 addressable sounder. That's one of the pride and joys of my collection. It's good condition, apart from the fact that this comes off, but all it needs, it's literally held on with double-sided sticky tape on there. I need to buy some, put a new strip on, really. But yeah, this is brand new, never been installed. Comes with a box as well. And it probably never will be installed. Well, it definitely will never be installed. I'm never going to get a Gent addressable system. I don't really want to either. They don't appeal to me as much as Apollo do. And Menvia. Menvia's like my baby. I like Menvia. It just reminds me of the old system at my school. Anyway, next sounder. This is a CTEC active sounder. So we looked at the CTEC active detector before. And you'll see a similarity. And that's, they both use the exact same, excuse my toe, they both use the exact same base. So if you really want, you can have a red base for a white detector. But they also sell sounders with this sort of design as well. So the detector, this is a detector obviously, but they sell sounders that look like this as well, which is really weird. But yeah, CTEC is a really weird company. They like to use plastic molds for things that aren't supposed to be used for. But yeah, this is a really, really nice sounder. It's got Apollo tone and it's got Hochiki tone. That's probably the main appeal for these sounders in the collector community. They have, well, not collector community, not everyone's a collector, but sort of the general hobbyist community. The appeal is that they have tones that addressable systems typically have. So if you're wondering what those tones sound like, this addressable sounder makes the Apollo tone. This is a conventional sounder and also makes the Apollo tone if you set it. Same with this actually. This is just a Series 65 bass sounder. But yeah, anyway, that's that. Next is this. This is the Kse conventional sounder. This is the 4-tone. I think it's the SOU LPR4. Really, really, really fucking loud. Yeah, it's 4 tones and it's quite old. So you use these jumpers that you can see there inside to set the tone on it. I have an all tones test of this on my channel from about 3 million years ago if you want to go watch that. Is that all my sounders? I think that's all my sounders. Great. So, we will move on to something much more interesting, which is my call points. So, first off, we have the weird American... It's not even American, it's fake American pull station thingy. It's a BG12 with the European fire alarm symbol on it. And it's very cheap. It's interesting though. I imagine it feels the same as pulling an American one, or at least similar. Because I think they've literally copied the front piece one for one. So... because of all of the videos that I've seen of these, they look just like this on the inside, but they have a different switch mechanism. So I think with the American ones, there's a box around the switch because they're a lot higher quality. I think I melted that with my soldering on it. Yeah, I've had to resolder these wires a few years ago because I took the what's it called, the resistor module out of it, and the wires came off. So this is just a Kse new style call point. Hasn't got any glass in it. It's the key for it. Yeah, very boring. I have a more interesting version though. This is my newest device actually. I recently acquired this. This is the Adt conventional call point with an LED. It's just a Kse but with Adt branding, with LED obviously, conventional and stuff, so you can see. There's the model and stuff. Yeah, but it looks addressable, which is really cool. So yeah. Next device is one of my older devices. It's what's it called? Menvia / Bardic call point. I think it's got fire safe glass in it because I don't have any Menvia glass. It originally came with clear unbranded glass, so basically just glass like that without the fire safe logo on it. But it's Menvia branded. The box said Menvia on it and stuff, so that's what I call it, the Menvia call point. The next one is a very old one in my collection. When I say they're old, I'm saying they're old as in I've had them for a really long time. It's my first call point, I think, and it doesn't work because I broke it quite a lot. The clips are all broken at the bottom. These wires are soldered on to try and use the switch, because back in the day when I didn't know how to basically bodge my panel to work with call points, I literally modified this to make it a switch instead of using the terminals. You still could use the terminals, this still does work, and if I was to get a what they called the addressable version of this call point and just nicked the front off it, I could probably fix it. No, sorry, not the front, the back plate off it. I could probably fix it. But we'll have to wait and see. I don't know if it's possible anyway, but yeah, nice call point, conventional. Yeah, this is a ESP call point, also conventional. All of these, yeah, all my call points are conventional. This is quite a cheap call point in price, but it's actually decent in quality, so it's resettable, so you can just press it. Same with that one that I just showed you then, that Apollo call point. But this is resettable only, so is the Apollo one, but some call points like the KSEs over here, these two can have addressable, I'm an idiot, not addressable, resettable elements in them. And so that can have resettable or glass. Both of those can have either. But this one has to have its dedicated element in it. Now, next one, which I just gave you a quick glimpse of then, is this. It has the resettable element in it at the minute. This is the fully on universal call point. Yeah, it's got the resettable element in it, of course. And these are really cheap, not very nice call points. Yep, there you go. Just reset it with my finger then. Excuse the fact that the element is absolutely rank. It had a sticker on it, and like the residue from the sticker has allowed all dirt and dust to stick to it, so it looks a bit gross right now. Now the next device is a really nice device. This is my old Gent 1195 with the really rare glass in it. Well, it's not really rare, it's relatively rare. And it's just a switch call point, so it's closed contacts. Hasn't got a resistor in it. Yeah, it's really nice. That just activated on its own. That was amazing. I think it's because I didn't click it right, but you can reset them with your finger, I'm sure. Hey, yeah. Very weird. But yeah. Anyway, back to this. These call points are also glass only. They never made resettable elements for these. I'm sure they could have if they wanted to, but they moved on from these because they're not the safest really. So you press this is how you test it. And the glass in these is notoriously hard to break as well, so they need a lot of force. And I have two of these, but I actually have the much newer version. Yeah, so this is still a 1195. This one has a resistor in it, so you don't have to add a resistor in it when you're installing it, which is nice. And it's got like Gent logo on it, it's got the actual fire thing. Because with this, if you had the clear glass in this, because this clear glass doesn't tell you anything, it's just got where to press on it. If you had this with clear glass, white glass in it, it would, you'd have a hard time telling what it's for. So they changed the design of it. I think this one was manufactured in 2012. Was actually made in 2012. I don't think they were designed in 2012. The actual back piece of the call point was designed in the 80s, so, well, I'm assuming it was designed sometime in the 80s or the early 90s anyway. But yeah, they kept the design for quite a while until they changed, because these are both conventional, obviously. They've sort of started moving away from conventional now, so they don't manufacture conventional devices, they only manufacture addressable devices. They manufacture conventional panels still. I think they still make the ZenX, I'm not too sure about that though. And, but they basically just brand these call points, the KCs, because these are the most generic call points pretty much, so basically you can find these with just the Gent logo on there. And that's what they would use instead. And they use the KSE Enscape sounders for whatever reason. And actually, I lied when I said Gent don't make conventional. They make conventional S-quads actually, which is really weird. But I don't think they're very common in buildings. Anyway, next device is another really interesting one actually. It's one that I haven't actually put on the system yet. This is a CQR FP2. I don't even think I've made a video of this yet, but I've had it for a while now. They're really weird call points. They have a resettable element, even though it looks like glass. It's resettable. And kind of cheap. It's kind of like a normal fire alarm call point and a CQR PA button sort of had a baby, and this would come out of it. It's hard to reset. There we go. That's not reset fully, has it? I know it has. See, with these, you can reset it a little bit, and then even a tap will set it off, but then you can reset it like all the way, and it'll be quite hard. These are actually quite hard to press. This one is easy, that one's easy. Most of them are easy. They have to be easy because like people who are weak or like disabled in their arms or something need to be able to activate them if needs be. So, but people from like other countries might be going, oh well, that's bad because then you can knock the call points. But in the UK, it's actually required that you fit a cover on call points in all new systems now, as of 2017. It took them a while to put that rule in, but makes a lot of sense because they are quite easy to knock, and false alarms cause a lot of issues. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. We have 16 old KSE call points. So these are the new KSE call points. These are round ones made by the same people. And obviously this sounder is a KSE sounder. An older KSE sounder. It gets very confusing. So there's old KSE sounders, and then there's the new KSE sounders, which are the KSE Enscape sounders. And then there's the old KSE call points, which are these ones, but they actually made two versions of this with a keyhole, one in the keyhole with a keyhole in the bottom, and these versions, which are older with a keyhole in the side. I don't have any with a keyhole in the bottom. I think they're a bit rarer actually. Yeah. And then obviously the newer KSE call points are these, which are the nice round ones with the newer mechanism and stuff, which are a bit better, but these ones are still quite nice. And these are actually a little tiny bit rare now. These ones are Citadel branded on the inside, and they all have prestige glass because that's obviously the company that installed them. Apart from these, this one is a ProTech branded call point. It says, you can tell because it says 330 ohms, and all the Citadel branded ones are 680. And this one is static systems, so it is it's just close contacts. It's just got a switch in it, and it literally just says KSE on the back. So this is like a normal. This is the actual back of it is. Well, no, the actual call point is just KSE, and then the glass is static systems who installed it. So yeah, that's rare glass, by the way, and I think these are moderately rare, but not that rare. They're prestige glass, and these are this white glass is dead common. This is the really common white glass that I absolutely hate. This is the slightly nicer white glass. You can see the difference here. So the arrows look a bit nicer. Same. The arrows on this look a little bit similar to the arrows on the old clear glass. One of these call points actually had the fire safe glass in it, and that's why it was probably this one actually, and that's why this one has a crap new Kse glass in it. So as you can see, the new Kse Call Point, they use that glass. This is actually actually no, sorry. Some of the new Kse Call Points do have that glass, but some of the old new ones. See, I told you it gets very complicated. But yeah, I think that's about it now. All of those, so yeah, all of these call points are the same except for these two, because that's Protec and that's Static / Kse. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed my fire alarm collection video. If you're wondering what was in here, this is all boxes and a light switch for whatever reason. It's from my old kitchen, that. And then this is all broken glass, because I'm a hoarder. Yeah, but that's everything. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching my fire alarm collection update.